welcome to the stream. I'm Avery. I'm back again for another stream, commentating for Cleveland State University versus Heidelberg University. It's fun being back here for the second time in a row. Looks like the other team just joined right now. I'm a bit excited. This is my second time in the booth, and I really enjoyed my first time here. So I hope you guys all will enjoy this stream today. I'm expecting good things from both sides. I heard that Heidelberg is a pretty decent team, but I know CSU is really, really good. So hopefully we can see something great from both sides. And thank you all for your donations on Giving Day. We actually ended up making our donation goal. That's huge, and that means that we can end up producing even more for you guys in the future. So thanks a lot for donating to us. And I'm really excited for this. I'm a bit nervous. I'm by myself in the booth for the second time I'm in here. I'm by myself, so I feel like I'm under a lot of pressure to make sure this is entertaining for you guys. But I'm going to try my best for you. Oh, looks like we're already starting. Oh. So in this match is a best of 3. So it's going to be relatively short, unless both sides end up doing really, really well. Hopefully we can get a really good match out of this one, though. I like to be here as long as possible. It's really fun being here, being in this booth and talking to everybody, even if there's nobody talking back. But I'm used to that. Pretty crazy person. I think they're setting bands and stages right now at the very moment. I think they just got a little bit too eager to press the button. I'm not exactly familiar with every single individual rule for the setup, but I do know that it just goes through a process. That's happened to me before in the past too. When I was in the high school league, I ended up getting a little bit too excited and pressing start button the moment I get into the arena. It's a bit of a habitual thing. Oh, looks like the game is starting. Mega Man versus Pokemon Trainer. Now this is Corey. Corey's Pokemon Trainer is really, really good. I don't know what to expect from the Mega Man, but Mega Man is a very interesting character to play against because most of his movement and abilities are pretty unique as a character overall. Mega Man doing a good job keeping his space, not providing Pokemon Trainer in order to get any space to get in. Squirtle's really a fast character though, so it's really hard for Mega Man to try to keep the space when Squirtle can just blitz him at any time. Corey as a player is also really good at deciding the pace of the match, going between defense and offense while trying to close the distance the entire time. But he switches to Ivysaur, probably trying to take a more ranged approach in order to counter Mega Man's spacing, which is a pretty good option in this situation since he can't really seem to close the distance at the very moment. Corey really doing a good job laying down the pressure. Mega Man can't really seem to land. Ivysaur is a really good character, in my opinion, when it comes to anti-airs. It's deceptively strong when it comes to his range, but he can't really seem to land back on the stage, so he has to switch to Charizard in order to break up the momentum just a bit. Mega Man playing defensive, getting the punish on Corey for missing. Ooh, nice up smash. Assassinal Shield is like really, really bad for you. It comes out so quickly. It's one of the Charizard's best out of shield options, if you ask me. Mega Man going back to the range option. Not playing too aggressive, biding his time really, really well. Corey can't really seem to land a hit. He's just falling back to back to back into a projectile, right into another projectile. Unfortunately, he drops the ledge trap. He had the opportunity to kill him, but he got a little bit too eager, and now the situation has changed. Now Corey is defending the ledge, and Mega Man's trying to make it back, but he manages to grab him and switch the situation right back around onto Corey. That was a really good up B, sending him right back to where he came from. Mega Man trying to get some space. He feels a little bit too much pressure at the moment. Almost any hit can kill him right now, so he has to be extremely careful how he plays if he doesn't want to lose the match. Going high was really smart right there. It's really hard for Mega Man to try to catch him with almost anything that isn't up air, and up air is also really, really slow, so it's relatively easy to react to. Oh my goodness, that was a really good spike from Mega Man, catching him in his big body really, really easily. Now Mega Man's in the lead, but he might not hold it for too long. He's really, really, really high in percentage right now, and Ivysaur can take that back with almost any hit that he has. Corey playing a grounded game, trying to avoid the projectiles while still poking at Mega Man from afar, trying to get a pick. But Mega Man still playing really, really safe, getting aggressive with the stock lead, but he just barely manages to miss Ivysaur. But Corey can't make it back to the stage, and Heidelberg takes the first game. Or rather, the first 3 stocks. I don't really know the rule set for this. It's a bit different from the high school league. Actually, no. Actually, never mind. Now that I'm thinking about it, actually, it's coming back to me a little bit more. I haven't been in the competitive scene for playing against anyone for a while, so it faded from my memory how this was supposed to work. But now I'm watching this going on. Now I remember how this works. it's cool coming back here, watching everything again. It's really exciting to play this game, watch this game, be in the competitive scene. Smash is really fun. I feel like I don't think I would have had the same experience if I didn't play Smash when I was in high school. Now I'm in college now, and I'm still experiencing Smash and a bunch of other different games. It's a lot of fun to be here, and I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad you guys are here watching it with me. Sorry, I'm just excited. I feel like I'm being a little bit too sentimental, but I'm really excited to be here. I've been waiting to stream for like a while, probably since my first semester at CSU. So now I'm finally in the booth, and I can finally do this. It's awesome. Oh, looks like Will is up next playing against Mega Man. Now, I feel like Min Min has a much better time against Mega Man than Pokemon Trainer does. Any projectile that Mega Man has can easily be negated by Ram Ram or literally anything he has. Show respect. Love to see it. Will holding up a little bit of an aggressive push while still keeping his distance enough to the point where Mega Man can counter even though he's playing defensively. Min Min is a very difficult character to face if you don't know the matchup, but after playing Min Min a couple of times, I realized that you just have to play like Corey did against Mega Man. You slowly close the distance while holding shield up and waiting for an opportunity. Don't get too impatient. Unfortunately, Mega Man can't seem to really land at all or get into a position where he feels grounded. He ends up losing the Scott really, really early, which is good for Will. He needs every single moment he can get, every single hit to catch up the loss that CSU got within the first game. Mega Man not all too eager to give him any more stocks. He's still playing really defensively, which I find is a really good showing of his skill right now. Because Mega Man really seems to know what he's doing. Mega Man's a really good character to master, so it's really respectable seeing any Mega Man in the competitive scene right now. It's pretty awkward, at least for me. I feel like Mega Man is a pretty goaty character to learn because of how difficult he is to learn. Will's still playing defensively. He's high at percent, but it doesn't really seem like Mega Man is in a much better position than before. But unfortunately for Will, he gets knocked off the stage, but he makes it right back just in time before Mega Man can even try to put any pressure on the ledge, sending the stage back into neutral. But he gets caught by Mega Man's dash attack. It's caught by the forward air, losing a stock a little bit too soon, in my opinion, for what Will thinks he would like to do. He wants to try and get as much value as he can right now before facing the next opponent. It's really a high pressure thing being behind in these crew battles. Oh shoot, that was a really good forward air. All right, we're moving on to the next match. They close the distance up by 1 stock, and so yeah, we're moving on. And yep, that looks right. I'm a bit more nervous in here. Ooh, I'm not used to being here by myself. title says just. Oh, okay. Hold on. Ah, yes, one of the most cancerous characters in this game, Aegis. Mimic can try to catch Mithra with Ram still. As long as Will plays very patient, Aegis shouldn't be able to close the distance. But Aegis is so fast, and with Foresight, it's going to be really hard for Will to keep up the distance on there. Already, Aegis, Mithra has already closed the distance on Will, but unfortunately he can't seem to keep up the pressure all too much. Will is doing a good job playing defensively, trying to get out of the way of Aegis and her attacks. Good job keeping Aegis in the air from Will. Trying to get back on the ground with down air, but unfortunately Aegis catches him, puts him right back on that platform. He's just really trying to get the pressure up, but Will isn't really having it. Trying to do his very best to keep to keep Aegis at arm's length. Switching to Pyro, switching modes, trying to close out the stock as fast as humanly possible. Any hit from now on is a death sentence for Will almost. But fortunately, since Pyra is so much slower, it doesn't really seem like he can get any value out of Pyra without putting himself at risk of taking a lot of percent way too easily. Will needs to make as much value as he can out of the fact that he switches to Pyra to get the stock out. Mithra can't really get any stocks all too easily, so this Aegis player has no choice, almost no choice, but to play Pyra if he wants to actually close any stock. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness gracious me! This dude Will is crazy. Just barely managing to live the neutral B. He's trying to find his way back on the stage, but unfortunately the up B catches him and puts them on an even 1-1 stock ratio. Will doing a good job catching up the game for CSU right now. Amazing grab combo. He has a really high mastery of this character. Min is also one of the characters where they're really good, but it's just really hard to master them. You need a lot of patience and time in order to master some of these characters, and once you do, it's really hard for almost anybody to fight against you because they're such an uncommon character in this meta. Pyro trying to ledge guard, but unable to actually catch him with anything, and here goes the 2-frame, killing Aegis and bringing CSU right back into this game. Really even game right now. Heidelberg has to do a little bit of coming back if they want to try to win this. But CSU seems to be holding really strong right now, trying to retain that lead that they had lost, that they just got him back. So hopefully for them, they can keep it up until the end of this first game. Aw, man. It's disease versus disease. I'm not sure if Will knows how to play against the Min matchup, but it should be a little bit interesting. Hopefully Will can outplay this Min and close out the stock count even more, even in this situation, so that way CSU can get an even larger lead than they already have. They're sharing one brain side already. I'm just looking at this. Oh man, Heidelberg definitely could have closed out the stock right there if they were a little more confident. Fortunately for them, they let Will get back on the stage, so he might be able to make something out of this. Even one stock is enough for Will to probably be satisfied in the situation. He's done a lot to bring CSU back into the game, but if he can get another stock, it'll be even greater for him. But this Mimmin isn't really trying to be too committal, trying his best to play careful, but unfortunately, Will still manages to get a stock off of him. Oh, man. That's the end for him. Good job, Heidelberg, for getting that stock out, but unfortunately they're still behind thanks to the fact that Will is the GOAT, and he managed to get another stock of him right before he died. Let's go. Here comes Julian. Now, this is a tough match for Julian since he needs to close the distance. Min does a really good job holding that distance really well, and since Luigi isn't all that fast, it's even harder for him than it is for most other characters in this game. But Julian plays Min a lot. He's very patient, when it comes to closing distance on characters like zoners. And once he actually gets his chance, he makes sure that it gets some type of value. So hopefully he can get something really large out of this game. Nice SDI coming from the Min, just barely managing to avoiding the zero to death. It's just right past the Ram. This game's so bad, dude. Julian getting a little greedy with that Ubbi, just missing and end up getting punished. But he ends up hitting him with the down B, but it just barely not manages to kill a good DI from the Min. Setting the stage right back into neutral, trying to play a little patiently to avoid dying, but unfortunately he gets caught by the smash from Julian. Heidelberg needs to do a little bit more to protect their stocks if they want to try to make this back. At least get one stock off of Julian if they want to try and do better for this first game. Misfire gonna come back to stage a lot easier, but it's not enough. Lands right into a forward smash and ends up losing a stock. Oh, just barely manages to avoid it. This Mim is playing very carefully. You can tell that the Mim player is starting to get into the zone, trying their very best to make sure that Luigi doesn't get any more hits in. It's basically over for them if they get any more hits in at this point. Luigi's really scary because if he grabs you, you don't really know what he's going to do. But if he does something, you need to be prepared for almost any situation. Otherwise, it ends up in your death. Julian managing to get the kill, but that Min did a really good job catching them up. Heidelberg's on our last player, but it's really entirely possible for Heidelberg to make this back entirely. All they have to do is just kill CSU's Luigi's one more time and then just make a crazy comeback on the last game. But as you know, Luigi can steal stocks, so even with this opportunity, it's really easy for them to just end up getting blown up by Luigi just on the spot. But I wouldn't count Heidelberg just yet. It really depends on this next character and what they can do. Oh, here comes Steve, the king of Ultimate himself right now. Steve can play around Luigi really well. His lack of mobility is going to be a really bad hazard for him. Julian needs to try his best to get around his blocks if he wants to make any stock difference any larger. Sorry, I'm having a hard time thinking of words right now. I'm just like blinking every now and again. Starting off by immediately getting iron. Can't say that's a bad option right now. It deprives him of minecart for a little while, but it means he gets immediate damage and tries to end this game as soon as possible so he can go on to the final player. Doing good so far. Sorry, I was saying. Let's go, Vikes! It was Jacob. He just came over here to check on me. Oh my goodness. Julian unable to get almost any value out of that. Only dealing 6%, just killing him instantly with Diamond Forward Smash. And now the game is even. 3-3. That was a good job on Heidelberg's part. It was a little bit scary giving up your iron in order to try and get extra damage out, but it was basically a really good way in order to ensure that they ended the game as fast as possible without losing even more stocks to Luigi. They respected Julian and his ability to just blow up stocks however he felt like it, and they just did their very best in order to kill him before he became even more of a threat than he already was. Now we're going into this very last match of the first game. Dead even, just at the very beginning, just like the very beginning of the game. Both teams right now, though, they're doing really, really well. Heidelberg is honestly pretty impressive. They all almost all of them play some pretty niche characters. Mimin and Mega Man are really, really niche, and they play them really, really well. They've been doing a really good job so far. So I'm honestly pretty impressed with them. I don't really get to see all that too many Mega Mans and Mimins. They always really do well if they're in high competitive Smash, but you don't really see them all too often either. So it's really cool to just watch characters like this. That's why I like playing Smash so much. You end up finding characters that just they have so much potential if someone actually just takes the time to pick them up and play them, but like nobody does. So when they are picked up, you just finally get to see the potential of this character, and it's like really crazy to see how cracked they really are. You hate him, you love him, it's Yoshi. Now Steve has a lot of potential to block a character with blocks, but Yoshi can just kind of sort of negate that by just jumping right over all of them. Not to mention the fact that Steve doesn't really have all too high mobility without minecart, so if Steve gets caught in a disadvantaged state, it's going to be really hard for him to get out of this situation without having to get past all of Yoshi and all of his nonsense that he can catch you in. Sorry. I really don't like this character, and that's exactly why I don't like him. That big head just manages to spike him right into the blast zone. Ping CSU at a healthy lead right now. All he has to do is hold it. John, he's a really good player. I've played him a lot. He's a really good Yoshi, and he just got even better. So right now, he's just doing a great job suffocating this Steve. Like I said, once he gets to the disadvantage, it's almost impossible for Steve to get out of disadvantage as he slowly drifts into his demise and just falls into the endless abyss below. Right now, Steve is playing at Yoshi's pace. He has to try and get out of this situation if he wants to try to reset the momentum. Try and slow down Yoshi at almost any single turn, but he just can't manage to do that as game one is over, going to CSU right now. And then we're going to move on to game two after a short little while. Good job, Heidelberg. Good job, CSU. right, we're back for game 2. If Heidelberg loses this round, then that just means that CSU ends up winning for the game. If Heidelberg locks in, though, they should end up going to game 3, and it'll be a really fun match. It's been a really fun match so far, too. We love to see the spirit, the CSU spirit in the chat. And thank you for joining the stream. We appreciate your support. I especially appreciate your support. You are my favorite for personal reasons. So thank you for coming down. Oh, I hope you can't hear that. I'm drinking water. I don't know if y'all can hear that. Now, Heidelberg, they did a good job, but they did struggle when it came to getting under pressure. When they're going on defensive, when they're in disadvantage, they can't really seem to get out of disadvantage a lot, and they can't really seem to shake off CSU and their players long enough to try and change the momentum back into their favor. If they want to try to win, they would need to be a little bit more predictive, I would like to say. Try to observe CSU players and their behavior a little bit more in order to intercept their attacks before they get a chance to attack Heidelberg in the first place, I would say. It's a bit hard for me to describe, but here comes Hero. Oh, what changed? Something must happen. Also, we're starting for real. They switched to Mega Man. Wait, there was a Mega Man already? I don't really remember. I wasn't really paying attention. But Hero's a fun choice. Hero's a character that can either be pretty healthy as a character, or he can just like blow you up in an instant. It really depends on what he gets from his down B menu, like Accelerato, or just simply because Hero has a lot of really good normals. His areas are good. He can crit, which is not fun for whoever gets hit by it, but that's also a very potential stock stealer. So going into this game, Mega Man has to be very careful of a lot of different things. He has to be just as fast as reading as Hero is in order to react to and intercept almost anything he can just pull out at any time, which mostly makes Hero so scary. You never really know what he's going to pull out unless you're just paying attention to what he's top taking. Hero trying to control center stage right now. He's doing a good job keeping his distance, but he's running out of mana. He has to get a little bit of hits in on Mega Man if he wants to try and get his mana back, but I guess he gets it all back. Mega Man did the job for him, knocking him right out and bringing it to a 3-2 lead right now for Heidelberg. Hero playing a little bit more defensive, trying to catch up. Catching with a dash attack. Mega Man should not have jumped there, but I guess he didn't really have many options between Oof and Psych Up, just laying on so much kill pressure on him at the moment. Trying to keep up the ledge guarding pressure. He's got Hero in a little bit of a daze right now. Good job going low on Hero's part. He manages to get back on the stage, putting it back into neutral. They're both fighting for control in the middle right now, and neither of them have an advantage over the other at the very current moment. But it looks like Mega Man is just barely managing to catch him. Putting Zoom right on the stage, allowing him to reposition in a very healthy manner. It's really hard to catch anyone using Zoom. Zooming again, getting really lucky. Ooh, just catching him with neutral get up. Mega Man is now in a 2-1 lead. Looking pretty similar to game 1, where Heidelberg had the lead initially. Kamikaze is such a funny move to get in like sets like these, because you could just easily misclick and just kill yourself and just lose the stock for no apparent reason whatsoever. Trying to kill him early with Thwack, just not managing to get the hit on him. Mega Man opting to go high, trying to avoid all of his potential projectiles and just land right on top of him. Hero getting a little bit eager to get a hit in so he can get his mana back. Getting caught by the side B. Mega Man doing a good job converting all of his moves to juggle Hero and make sure he doesn't get back on the stage. But unfortunately, he gets a little too greedy and gets caught by the swoosh. Trying to catch Hero's landing, he just barely doesn't have the range to catch him. He probably could have died there if they actually went on a little bit longer. Hero knocking Mega Man right off the stage and into the air, but he lands right back down on the ground. His Hero right back off stage, but he's zooming again back into center stage. Hero has to play a lot more patience at 119. Almost anything can kill him at this point if he's not careful. Trying to poke with side B, trying to get it early, try to get a quick kill without any commitment. Unfortunately, he's low on mana again, which means he has to go in on Mega Man if he wants to try and get any meaningful spells. But he runs out of mana, unable to get all the frizz, and ends up dying, putting Heidelberg at a league of 2 stocks. League? Come on, bro. Lead. 9. That's 19. I keep accidentally touching the mic with my hand. I don't know if y'all hear that. I hope not. I'm not trying to. I'm just not used to having a mic in front of my mouth like this. So I end up just hitting it every now and again. I was doing that yesterday too. Here comes Will. Will he make another comeback, or will Heidelberg manage to up the ante a little bit more, bring the stock deficit up even higher than it was before? Now the problem was when game one is that Mega Man couldn't really seem to land. He couldn't seem to find any momentum in the game. Will just did a really good job putting pressure on him. I don't know if he's learned from game one, but hopefully Mega Man can try and do a little bit better this time, closing in the distance and not falling prey to Min and her pressure from her arms. Already doing a little bit better, catching Min when she's trying to close the distance with his own projectiles and just making sure that she doesn't really have any options. Will already adapting, jumping between his movements in order to hit him with rising aerials. Mega Man being a lot more patient than he was in game one. Getting a really good stock off of Will. That was really good from Mega Man. He's playing really well now. He's playing a lot better. He's really good at adapting. I'm noticing. The faster you adapt to a situation, the quicker it is, the easier it is for you to win a situation. So Mega Man doing this, so he's still at 102. So relatively speaking, he's in a really good state to try and still get another stock off of him. But he's at 133 now, so he'll basically die almost in a single hit. And there you go. He's still on one stock now, but Will needs to be extremely careful not to lose any more stocks. Moving around a lot, trying to mix up his movement, trying to make the Mega Man question decisions when he can go in, when he can't, mixing in grabs and down tilts. Catching it with a grab, he just barely manages to miss the forward smash that could have put Mega Man in a very precarious predicament. But Will is not giving up his stock so easily, trying his very best to get Mega Man out of the stage as fast as possible. That shield pressure goes really hard. Min always hits hard no matter what she really does. Ram's like the weakest, but even then, it's still really scary to go against Ram because despite the damage, the lack of damage, the sheer space it takes up just by activating him alone is crazy. Good nair, knocking Mega Man into the air, but he can't manage to catch him, so Mega Man manages to put his foot back on the ground and try and put this back into a game favoring him, but he just barely gets hit by the forward air and just ends up losing this stock, bringing CSU down by one stock, but making it a little bit better than before. It's like 9-8. That Mega Man played really well at the end, but we'll end up locking in for those very last stocks. He did really well. He's really good at catching opponents and just hitting back-to-back hits when it comes to Min. You really have to respect his playstyle, even though he plays a really cancerous character. The Aegis is back for another round. Hopefully Will can do what he did in the last game and just keep the distance and ensure that Heidelberg can't make a larger lead on them, just turning it around entirely like he did in game 1. What? Whoa. Okay. Hello? Are we awake right now? Are we playing the same game? What's going on? Why do you throw that? That was really risky from Heidelberg. He probably could have went off the ledge and just died right there again. Well, being a little bit patient with his recovery right there, he can't be too greedy when it comes to how fast he comes back to stage. Otherwise, he just might lose the stock right then and there. Oh my goodness gracious me! The snap back to ledge ended up saving him. That was a really good trap from Aegis, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough in order to catch Will. Will trying to play the neutral game, trying to play patiently in order to make sure that Aegis keeps his distance, trying to avoid Mithra's lightning fast speed. Doing a good job calling out Pyra's low ledge trap. He's slowly closing in the percent. At this point, all it will take is just one good, really good hit in order to kill Aegis, and there it goes. Will automatically turns him around for CSU once again. It was a good trade for Aegis right there, taking out Will's stock. Now bringing it back down to 1-1. It's an even game already. That was risky of him to try to land on the stage like that. He just barely manages to dodge the force match coming from Aegis. Ends up hitting him on the ledge. Two frames him once again. No, that wasn't even a two frame. That was just, he just got hit because he was slightly over the ledge. And now, once again, like in game 1, CSU is right back into the lead. I'm not gonna lie, was goated. That was really unfortunate for Heidelberg. I don't know what really happened with him, but he just ended up giving up on life, I suppose, and just gave up his first stock for no apparent reason. I'm sure he's just cringing right now in his seat. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but we ain't gonna complain. We love to see it, honestly. Looks like Heidelberg's ready. This Min again. Last time, Will couldn't really seem to get any ground, but hopefully he can this time. And he's already dead. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is a mirror. This is like an exact mirror to game 1 right now. Except this time, Will couldn't get an extra stock out before he died. Which might actually make or break this game. So let's see how this goes. CSU playing Steve? Is this Corey? I feel like it's Corey.
3, 2, 1, go!
Starting off strong with a couple up tilts. Mimic closing the distance, losing the advantage that she had. Fortunately, Mimic can just pressure Steve's blocks without having to get any close, preventing Steve from doing any punishing once the blocks are broken. Getting Iron Sword, trying to get a little more damage out before he goes back into the fight. No iron, but he manages to get a little bit of value out of that minecart. Mimic chasing. But Steve just going all the way up the top, trying to avoid Mimic and anything that she has. Mimic failing to punish the landing. Getting a diamond already. That can be crucial once the time comes for him to use it. Trying to chase him back into the air, beating the minecart, but still getting hit by it. Steve's already 120. He does. Oh, that was really great DI. That was really great DI. Good stalling in the air with his ubby, managing to snap onto ledge without any punishment. But he's still at a disadvantage. But he manages to hit him with the minecart, putting Mimic at disadvantage, putting him on the ledge. But Mimic manages to get back center stage and catches him with a smash, bring it 3-2. Mimic playing carefully, but still trying to get any hit that he can on Steve. He's trying to get a couple resources without iron is really hard for him to approach. Min without any issues. The pressure's laying on as Heidelberg's Min just keeps on getting hit after hit, poke after poke, stacking up damage, widening this percent lead and the stock lead on CSU. Chasing again, doing a really good job with these chases, making sure that Steve can't feel safe no matter what angle he comes at, and he just barely managed to die from the, was that forward tilt? No, I think it was forward smash. No, I think it was forward tilt actually, no, I think about it. Despite being a 136, Mimic can still get a lot of damage out simply because of her arms just poking at a distance before Steve can even try to land a hit on her. Even when Steve has minecart, she just angles it up and just uses the laser to just knock him right back out of it and reset their situation. Good parry coming from Heidelberg, putting more pressure on Steve, but he hits him with the minecart, putting it to 2-1. But Steve has to play even more careful than before because he's already at 50%, halfway there to getting a kill percent. And it's really easy for him to get gimmed at this point. Heidelberg could just probably do a trade and just get a kill early, even if he manages to die himself. Even if it's not optimal. Steve managing to get back on the stage because Min ends up missing. Last stock diamond. If there's a time for Steve to lock in, it better be right now. If they want to close in this game and not give Heidelberg a chance to try to make a comeback, they should end up doing as best they can in order to close out game 2 right now. Or not right now, but you get what I mean. Trying to widen the gap even more, not like any more pressure fall onto them. Pacing out his jabs, Min ends up getting the kill, bringing him at a 2-stock lead, bringing the score to 3 and 4. No, 3 and 5 actually. Oh, that wasn't Corey. I think that was Livy. This is Corey. If there's anyone who could just close at the stock right now, it'd be like 3-0 to S from Corey. And I'm like high-key expecting at least one this game. Corey's Rob is like one of the best Robs I've ever seen in my entire life. Corey's a really great player. He manages to have a great combo game with this character, and he reads players really, really easily. Even when he's in disadvantage, he manages to know what to do in order to like escape the situation, drift out of a combo, or something else entirely. It's really risky playing against Rob, especially Corey's Rob. So he probably can close the stock match, the stock deficit like really easily right now. Just like that, he's already 3-1. When it comes to being under pressure from Rob, he has like so many confirms. It's not even funny, especially with Gyro online. Gyro is like one of his best options. It's really hard to do anything because Gyro takes his place for so long. Even right now, even if it missed, the sheer fact that Gyro was there manages to force Min in order to air dodge, and he was just pressure into a situation where he just couldn't escape, and he ends up evening out the stock deficit immediately. And that's that bullcrap I be talking about. That's that bullcrap I be talking about. Back to Steve player last. But yeah, Heidelberg needs to lock in right now if they don't want to make it to game 3. But honestly speaking, I want Corey to like really destroy this guy right now so I could just go home. I kind of do want to go home. But it'd also be cool to watch this game go even longer. Good spacing on the forward airs from Corey. Managed to turn the situation around, but instead of playing defense, Steve opts to try and get more resources really quickly, and he ends up dying to side B already. That's a death sentence, dude. Getting hit by side B off the ledge at 80 is just a death sentence. There's no point even trying to fight it. Trying to lay a little bit of pressure with jab. He drops it, and Corey ends up putting him back into a disadvantageous position. Gyro holding space on the ledge. Steve having to adapt to it and trying to predict when and when not Corey will try and throw that gyro. Not predicting the laser, he gets locked into the air, but he manages to knock Corey back, try and get a little more space. He's trying to keep that space, trying to get resources, but he just can't seem to hold on to any of them because Corey's just always laying on more projectiles, more items, more anything in order to make sure Steve just can't manage to do anything, just suffocate him, even from afar, outplaying him in his own game. Got a shield option, go side B, laser, and then gyro. Yep, that sounds about right. You can tell that Steve player looks a little bit frustrated. He can't really seem to try and do anything against Corey's Rob. He's doing his best trying to play defensive, but it just seems like he just can't deal with it. Good landing. Getting back on stage is something he's really good at. He just punishes you for even trying to ledge guard him. Even at 182, he's just a threat. You can't even try to approach him. He braces the block so easily, so any defense that Steve puts up is just like immediately destroyed. Good back air from Corey. Locking in, making sure Steve just can't have any space to breathe. Trying and closing the distance with minecart. It's completely pointless against Gyro because Gyro just beat minecart apparently. He can't match out of it. Losing a stock. 1-2. But Steve is susceptible to die from literally anything right now. Corey's really good at catching you. Once he catches you, it's almost impossible for you to not die in that situation. Last stock diamond, but he might not be able to even use it before he ends up dying. He already has a diamond too, so he might not end up needing it. Man, he misses the up smash, but Steve's feeling the pressure at 150%. He dies to anything right now, just like an up air, and that's game. That's already over. That's 2-0. CSU wins against Heidelberg. They played well, but CSU played even better. So thanks for coming to the stream. And once again, thanks for helping us meet our donation goal on Giving Day. We appreciate all the support. And with the funding that you guys have given us, we are now allowed to have even more resources, to have an even better time, and to have even more options to entertain you even better. This is Avery, aka Grim. And I would like to thank you all for coming down here in the stream. And I would like to wish you all good evening, good night, and have a good rest of your day.